Josh, is that one of the harder days you've had in the field?
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, I think it probably speaks for itself. They piled on the runs and had a couple of really big partnerships there, which were it was hard work out there bowling at certain stages. There's a little bit in it at times. I guess the new ball probably does a little bit, but if you get through that, then it's a bit easier batting. We saw a little bit up and down towards the end of the day, obviously. So that'll be something the batters will be watching tomorrow, I guess.
Jaiswal is obviously the main man when the point is really going there. Like, can you just tell us about what kind of plans you cycled through, whether you could have done anything different to him?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we cycled through a few plans. He batted really well. He's a good player. He batted well. I mean, we went through a couple. We sort of hung it outside off for a bit with an offside field. We tried straight. We tried the bounces. We tried a lot of things. He negated everything. So, credit to him. He batted well.
Josh, how do you approach tomorrow? What happens tonight and what do you do tomorrow to try and turn it around?
Well, he'd probably have to ask one of the batters that question probably. I'm sort of relaxing and trying to get a bit of physio and a bit of treatment, and I'm probably looking mostly towards next test and what plans we can do against these batters. I guess the batters just sticking to what they do, their preparation. They'll have a hit in the morning and talk around plans of how they're, what happened the first innings, how they can negate that and move forward and improve on that.
Does it feel interesting to play in front of a home crowd that is cheering more loudly for the other team?
I think we're used to that now. I think wherever you play India, it's an Indian home ground. I reckon the last few tours have been similar. The one-day series in Australia are similar. We're all used to it now. Yeah.
Did it have a feel of a ghost of games past? Suddenly they're rattling along and scoring at a bit of a rate in that final session when it was pretty tough, and then suddenly Virat pops up again after not having made a score for a while. You have a few flashbacks there?
I don't know about flashbacks. I think that's sort of the way the game flows sometimes. We've been on the other end of it as well a lot of times when, we're piling it on and next minute we come out and take a few quick ones late in the afternoon. You see it both ways. They're obviously well in front on this one and they're doing the damage. So, I think that's just sort of ebbs and flows of the game.
Josh, can you just cast your mind back to the start of the second innings yesterday and, you'd obviously put some runs together at the bottom of the order and close the scoreboard up a little bit. Do you think, was there anything differently you do now about in that period, or was it just a case that they got through it as open?
Yeah, again, I think we bowled really well for the majority of the innings. Obviously at the end there, things flow and, the quicks are probably done for the day and, you bowl on your part-timers and things really motor along. But I think whenever we had periods there where we kept the scoreboard very tight, a lot of plays and misses throughout the day or throughout the innings. I don't think we would have changed anything initially, as you mentioned, the start of the innings. I think they got through it, they batted well. I think KL left really well. That was probably his game plan in both innings, just to sort of take that shine off the ball and wait for things that were in his zone. And Jaiswal just plays his game. So, no, nothing's jumping out at me. We'll probably go through it, obviously, but nothing at this stage.
What was the reason Pat walked out as the night watcher instead of Nathan?
We've just been talking the last few weeks about potentially having two options, and Gaz obviously put a fair shift in their bowling, so Pat put his hand up to do it tonight. I think we'll see both guys used throughout the series, I think.
Josh, what did you make of Pat's bowling today? I mean, I know it was a tough day all around for everyone. There's been a bit of talk about the fact he didn't play a Shield game leading into the summer. Did you think that was had any impact on his how he was able to get through?
No, I think he bowled the most out of the quicks. I think his pace was probably the pick of the quicks as well. He kept his pace up the whole game. His bounces were on track most of the time. He looked his normal self to me. I can usually pick up with the other two quicks when they're a little bit off, and I didn't see any sort of signs of that. Maybe a little bit of rust in the first innings. You sort of take the freshness, I think, over that, and throughout this game he obviously, I think, got better and you'll just see him get better as he goes along, I think. So the freshness is, I think, trumps, playing that Shield game for him.
Josh, clearly, you never give up hope, but what's the messaging like around the group when you're in a position which, clearly is going to be very, very hard to win from?
Yeah, I think it's just, again, the batters, sticking to their plans tomorrow, batting some time. It's obviously a long series. It's a 5-match series, so if we can put some overs into their top, their top quicks, I guess that's probably the couple of goals that we need to tick off tomorrow. And if a couple of guys find some form and score, an 80, 90 or even 100, that's probably the positives we can take out of it.
And if you don't just Marnus, his headspace, how's he going from your perspective? Has he shown any different signs around the group?
No, he's been his normal self. He seems normal to me. I know he's always a big thinker of the game. He loves talking cricket, playing cricket, eats, sleeps and breathes it. So, I haven't noticed anything different in Marnus. He'll talk to the coaches and talk to probably Smithy most of all about his batting. They're obviously very close. So, hopefully things turn around quickly.
Just back on Manus, Josh, you bowled a lot to him from a bowler's perspective. There are lots of theories floating around about what's happening with his batting. Have you got your head around it from just what you see?
I haven't seen much different, to be honest. I didn't actually bowl a lot to him in the lead up. Just the pairings didn't quite match up, but he looked his normal self. He looked switched on. He's ready to go. He's as hungry as ever. They're a pretty good attack, India, so it's going to be tough to score runs at the start, and if you need to get through that period, and hopefully things get easier.
One there and the last one over there.
Josh, Kohli has now scored more hundreds by visiting India, even more than Tendulkar. You have a fantastic record against Virat Kohli. How was this innings different, considering the fact that over the last few years he has not been among big 100 or something like that? In the context of the game, can you just?
I think when he came out, he looked positive. He probably left a bit better in the second innings early on, and then I think the game situation probably dictated how he needed to play. He needed to probably get on with it a bit, and so the India could have a bowl at us tonight. So he that probably forced his hand a little bit, which can take the pressure off sometimes. And we saw probably almost a one-day innings from him, and manipulating the field, manipulating the bowlers, and all that sort of stuff. So he looked in pretty good touch this afternoon.
Josh, was there any discussion about the wicket and the way it's changing its colour, the way it's changing the colour, the nature of the wicket has completely changed from day 1 to day 2 to day 3. There were different pictures roaming around, the colour of the wicket. So we know you guys read it well in Ahmedabad, but what happened there?
I think initially it was quite not soft underfoot, but it was a little bit tacky, and I guess. It changed in probably a space of a few hours. It felt like after lunch day 1, it was quite hard underfoot. Obviously, the sun's been out, a lot. It's been hot the last 2 days, so it's probably always going to crack up here, I think. So I guess you're weighing up: is it harder to bat fourth innings than the first innings? And you see a few now that are starting to roll end of day 3. I think if you're going to have to bat day 5, it's going to be pretty hard work. So looking back, I think you'd bat first 9 times out of 10. Yeah.